Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Next Level Real Talk Podcast, where we have conversations on the journey of personal transformation and the pursuit of lasting peace and happiness with Sheldon and David. And welcome back to another episode of Next Level Real Talk Podcast with Sheldon and David. What's up, David?
Not much. How we doing out there? Having a good week. I want to do a quick thing. It's been a great week. I want to do two quick shout outs. One quick thing. One shout out to my dad. It's his birthday today. Happy heavenly birthday to my dad. So I'm gonna kind of give away the date. All's good. He's in a great place. So I'm gonna smile and happy. So it's okay,
Beautiful.
people. I just wanted to give a shout out to Dad on the podcast because he knows I was starting all this stuff and he was excited to hear him, but he never got to. But I'm sure he's hearing them now.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he hears every one of them. And then last week we talked a little bit about some stuff, and I brought up my lawyer Wendy, and I just wanted to give her a shout out because I mean the wonderful she was. I just feel bad. We don't do ads, but I want to give people shout outs whenever we can. So Wendy Hernandez of Wendy Hernandez Law Firm, she was my rock when I was
Yep.
going through the divorce. So
Yep.
if there's ever you ever need anybody for anything, she's a great lawyer. She's a wonderful person, and she treats you as family. So the Wendy out there, I want to give you a shout out and say thank you for
Beautiful.
allowing me to be family and taking
Yeah.
care of me and making sure I was in the good spot as I went through that hard spot.
Through
So,
literally some of the darkest times of your life.
yep. And
Literally.
Sheldon knows he
So
was
there's
part of it. So,
it's a beautiful gift that she has with
mhm.
her heart to be able to take somebody through that kind of a process, right? A difficult circumstance like that. It takes a unique individual to
Yeah,
not just make it just
totally.
purely legal and work, but to actually have some compassion and empathy,
Mhm.
and love taking somebody
Yeah.
gently through that process. It's beautiful. So that's cool. She deserves
And
it.
I learned that she did that from the heart. Lawyers,
Yeah.
not all
Yeah.
lawyers. Some lawyers will be like, I'm just doing my job. No, she took it from the heart. She took it
Right.
as family. It wasn't
Right.
you walk in there and
Right.
okay, we'll finish this and walk away. I mean, she'd always check in. I mean,
Yep.
we still text to this day. And I had a friend ask something about needed a lawyer for something. Hey, when you know anybody? Oh yeah, tell her to call my friend. Reach out
Yep.
and
Uh,
just put my name out there. I'm like, oh okay. So it's a cool connection that I have now, still to
yeah.
this day.
It's
That
beautiful.
I check in on her and just she checks in on me now and then. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So
That's
so
awesome.
shout out Wendy Hernandez Law Firm. Love you to death, girl.
Beautiful. And
So,
it's that thing when somebody's in alignment, right?
mhm.
I think their purpose or their work is in alignment with kind of their heart calling and their passion of what they, how they are to be in the world. We're talking about, uh, being of service or, when
Yep.
you're a place and you're happy and you're at peace in yourself, what do you do? Right. You had started to talk about that one before we started recording.
Yeah. Something I was just listening to something this week. Must have been an ad, or maybe it was just a song. I'm not sure exactly where it came from, but it came. And it's like, okay, now you're in this place. I've gone through the process. I'm doing good. I'm not saying life is perfect. You've got through what you needed to get through.
Hmm.
Okay, now what do? I just kind of hang out. I'm doing happy. Ooh, okay, let's just celebrate
Yeah.
every day. No, you can move forward, and now you can see the world differently. Okay,
Yes.
because you really can. And now maybe you see someone that needs help. How can I help others?
Right.
Not in service, but I'm talking about now that you see that. What can you do? Because you've got
Right.
through this.
Right.
Oh, I've learned this meditation thing. Oh, I've learned this. You should see this podcast. Oh, you should go here.
And,
I'm not saying be an expert at what we do,
right.
but go ahead. You got
And
something.
you
Go ahead.
would, you said when you get through your thing, I do think that that's like a sign that you've actually healed, your stuff. Like, I think it always
Mhm.
starts with us first, right? Finding that
Yep.
place of peace within us, right? And when you've really healed something profoundly, the next step is to expand that, right?
Mhm.
Is to go
Yes.
beyond it. And we were gonna, it's like, okay, how can I be of service or how can I help somebody else? Or, I went through this terrible thing. Maybe I can help somebody
Mhm.
else. And that's kind of how this whole podcast started, right? Was that idea
Yeah.
of, we've both been through our journeys and we found this place where we have a much deeper level of peace and happiness and gratitude and stuff like that than we had before.
Mhm.
Maybe we could share not just our stories, but other people's, which is why we like to interview
Exactly.
people, right? These ways that people have found peace in their own lives, found past
Mhm.
happiness. How do you do that, right? But we were also, I think,
And
talking. Go ahead.
go ahead. Oh, and it's the thing that like I think I've said it before. Like when I was going through the divorce, two of my friends I was talking to, okay, were walking me through, going like as a friend, like, hey, go ahead, cry it out, do this, do that. Um, and Kara, Kara Clay, and Becky, okay, Becky Hewlett, Burke, now. Sorry. She's married. So as I was going through it, those two were like my little counselors, and I'd cry and they would just bring me up in the room, just talk, get it out. And they worked with Kara at the pools, and Becky was my boss. Shout out to them. But it's weird because after I went through it, I got a phone call. I'll never forget, sitting on the deck at a pool, and Becky called me. Like, why is Becky calling me? And I answer. I said, hey, what's going on? She goes, hey, you know that divorce lawyer you had? She goes, got a friend that needs that. You have that number? And yeah, I gave it to her. And she's like, well, I got to be honest with you, Smitty. It's me. It's not a friend.
Yeah.
And she was crying.
Yeah.
And so then I got to counsel them after I went through what I went through.
Yeah.
Life still was not hunky-dory perfect. No, but I was at a good spot in life where I could help them.
Yeah.
And I've gone through stuff after that to where life hasn't been good, but I've processed through it. So it's not saying that, okay, I'm the perfect person. I'm the Dalai Lama, or what do you want to call yourself? I'm God, and I'm okay. But if you're at a good spot and you've processed through whatever was going on in your life at that moment, be able to reach out to others. You don't know what's going to happen. I mean, for them to get me through what I was going through, and now me to help them. It's like, oh, that's what I went through to help you. Great.
Ram Dass had a quote that we're all just walking each other home.
I love it.
We're all just walking each other home. We're holding hands and just helping each other. We're walking each other home. What a beautiful way to look at it, right?
And like, if somebody came to me and said, hey, I had this big drug problem, I don't know how to process through it, I can't help them personally because I didn't go through it. I can say some stuff, but it's but you need someone that can empathize, that has walked in your shoes. I want to say, hey, Sheldon, then you talk to this person. I call friends. Hey, I need to talk to this person. So it may not be me, but if someone's saying something like, hey, be open to that. And I will tell you, and I don't know why this comes up in my mind, but sometimes we don't see what like when I was going through stuff, you don't see things. Just what I was going to talk about is the Jesus Calling book I always talk about. Okay. That's my devotional. And I'll sit there. I've read the same exact devotional. Okay. By the way, it's 365 days plus
one day a year, one
a day.
And
I've read it for quite a while because I've been divorced for a while because my aunt gave it to me. Shout out to Aunt Sandy. Bless you. She gave me that as I was staying at their house right as the divorce was starting. So that tells you how long ago it was. It's quite a few years, people. I read that exact same book. It's like, well, that's kind of boring. I go, but guess what? Every time I'm like, I don't remember that passage. I don't remember that devotional.
Yeah, it's like it's new every time.
It's like,
wait a second.
And even the ones I go, yeah, I remember that one. That was a good one. And I go, wow, that's a good one. Because guess what? I didn't need that page that day, that era of my life. All of a sudden it's like, oh, now that one makes sense to me because I went through that. And the ones that were really hitting me back then aren't as impactful now. So it's just like, so always be open to like, well, I've already done that. Like, well, there may be something new you're going to learn today. So that was huge for me going like, I read that because I read every day I read it, but I don't remember reading that.
Like, I know I read it, but I don't remember reading that exactly. Because
so always
the words aren't different. You're different, right?
It's
like the words are different. You're different. So your perspective on the same teaching is completely shifted, right? And hits you in a different way. That's beautiful. And the Tao Te Ching was the same way for me. Lao Tzu's 82 is a collection of 82 poems. And I used to carry the thing with me for like 15 years. I had it in my backpack the whole time I was riding a motorcycle. I never was waiting. I would open it up at a cafe and I'd read a couple, but there are 82 short poems and I'd read them over and over and over again. And as my life changed, as I went through different things, as I learned to grow, I'd read that same poem and go, I get it. And, it's like levels. I got it on a whole different level. I get it on a whole different level over and over and over again. Over years, it kept happening. So it's the exact same kind of feeling.
And there's one.
Go ahead.
We're off on a tangent, people, just so you know what we're going to talk about. We're kind of but it's going to help. So I grew up in the church, so I know the little poem, the footsteps. It's like you're walking along the beach with God, and all of a sudden, you're walking along talking, oh, great, we're on the beach, and all of a sudden, the hardest times in your life, there's only one set of footsteps. And then the person goes, in the hardest time of my life, you left me. Why did you leave me? I didn't leave you. That's when I carried you. And Sheldon, I've read that forever. I mean, it's a bookmark. I read it. Dude, going through what I went through the last years, I'm like, oh, that's what it means. It's like, yeah, I
Yeah.
knew that he carries us through it. I'm going like, oh no, he carried me through that.
Literally, yeah. What a
Just, I
beautiful.
got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only one set of footprints because I knew you couldn't walk at that moment. So I got
Yeah.
you. So,
Yeah.
so know that things that come back up are not just because, oh, that's boring. No, there's something in your life that you need to read
Yeah.
and feel it. So
Maybe
just
revisit
know.
that thing. Yep.
Yeah. So,
Exactly.
so yeah, so we're kind of talking about where are you at now? If you're at that good spot, we hope that you are. For those that are going through stuff and want to hear some things, we're going to kind of twist a little bit just on this one, of when you do get to that good spot, what can you do?
Yeah.
Rather than say like, I'm happy. What about everybody else? Too bad they're all sad. I'm happy. What do I do? But one of the main things is just be open
Yeah.
to see things, what's going on. If someone says something, go like, wow, it may not happen to that moment, but you're like later on, go like, wow, that person was talking about having some problems with drugs. Maybe I should reach out to Sheldon.
Yeah.
What do I say to them? How do I get them? So use your resources, and open up.
And I do think that urge, that desire to be helpful in some way happens naturally over time as you have found that
Hmm.
place of peace and happiness within yourself, right? The Buddhists call it compassion arising naturally. It's not forced dogma, oh, I'm supposed to do the right thing and be a good person. Because if you're doing that in a place where you're not really feeling that calling, there can be resentment or judgment or other things that are
Yeah.
going on in your mind. And that's not particularly helpful. But as what you're talking about, I think is like when you've really hit that place inside your heart, you go, wow, how can I, what can I do more than I'm already doing? Right. And maybe your
Hmm.
work and the connections and the people that you're supporting in your work and your family, that's enough, right? That's plenty.
Yeah.
But sometimes as we're going through these things, the desire to be of service or whatever that is in some other different way can arise.
Hmm.
And you want to expand that if you can, right? So that's a,
Yeah. So like with me, um, I mean, all my life I've been, that teacher person, so I'm always trying to help and give, and that's just a natural thing. But at one point, so I do Cares charities. Shout out to Cares, whoop whoop. My two friends, one of them was an umpire, and he started the whole thing. He was got it going, and I was indirectly pulled into it, sucked into it wasn't a black hole. It was a good bright hole because I loved Care. I'm still part of Care to this day, and so shout out to them. But that was kind of cool because I was helping the committee do golf tournaments to help the umpires go do stuff in hospitals for children, that kids that are in children's hospitals do Build-A-Bears. I'm like, wow, that's kind of cool. I'm not actually going into the kids, which is kind of like would be cool. I'm doing the backstage stuff, of course, at the golf tournaments. I'm there at 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, setting everything up, getting everything going out on the course, pitch black. Others are there, not just me. But that was my thing. And then I just kind of sat back over, clean it all up, walk away. So I was a roadie basically,
yeah,
and they
yeah,
actually did call me roadie. They called me the Care roadie.
yeah,
And so it was like that was kind of like, oh wow, cool. So I'm helping them go help them,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
And then that was like, okay, that's the thing that I do, the one real thing I give back to. And then I started at Xavier, and one of them said, hey, okay, this is one of our things that because we were 2021, I think, because Glenn and I started, and so the year before is when they started Swim for the Light because it was
oh yeah, yeah,
COVID.
yep,
And the mental health of one of the
yep,
girls, Kelly Scott, bless you, Kelly Scott. She's like, my friends are having a problem. What do we do? And so they started raising money for Swim for the Light. And
beautiful.
and someone goes, hey, would you be willing to take this on? Because they have to have an adult, for
Mhm.
the whole thing. And I go, I'm in. I
Yeah,
mean, they just started. I mean, they were two sentences in. I'm 100%.
yeah,
I go.
that's
I go. So
beautiful.
now I have two huge things that I really push, and that's Swim for the Light and Ums Care. So Ums Care, they always raise the money. There's always good there. I don't know how much they actually do, but I know with Swim for the Light, like now we're raising $10,000 to $15,000 each year to
Wow.
go to the First Start, which is First Episode Center. It's like when someone starts having that mental breakdown, it's like, oh, go to the hospital, your problem. No, you go to the first, you go to the First Episode
Episode.
Center, and they start walking you through where you at,
Wow.
who are you, do you know who
And
you are, who in
and
your
Dave,
family.
that's beyond all the other stuff and all the other people's lives you touch through teaching or
Mm,
being a librarian, right? Interacting with all
mhm,
the students, being a swim coach, supporting kids through that, right? Because you're already doing a ton of those
mhm,
kinds of things in your circles of work and family, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about, right? At some point, sometimes these things just naturally arise where you have the time and space and energy where you can say, okay, I can do more, or I want to do more, right? And it's not
Mhm.
a force thing. It's like, I want this, I feel this.
Yes.
Like you said, two sentences, you're a full yes, full body yes,
Mhm.
yes, 100%. I'm in on that thing. So that's
Yeah.
cool.
And it's and like you're saying, the things that you do naturally. When I was going through the divorce, the hard, the first week of
Yeah.
realizing it, and it's just my brain was a hot mess. I wasn't going like, I wonder how I can do this cherry. I wonder how I can do this cherry. No, my brain was on.
How
But
do I
guess
get
what?
through
There were
the night?
others around me that weren't going through hell
Yeah.
and go, okay, here we got you, we got you, we
Yeah.
got you, we
Yeah.
got you. So that's all you need to be. You don't have to be that one that goes out and okay,
Yep.
I'm gonna go out and save the world.
Yep.
No, just be that one person to say, hey, if you need me, reach out.
Yep.
Because sometimes I don't want to talk. It may be that one time, hey, I need to talk now.
Yep.
Just so if someone just knows that someone's there,
Mm.
I think that means a lot to a person.
Sometimes just listening fully, right, is enough.
Yeah.
Sometimes just
Hmm.
really hearing somebody with, like you were talking about, where you'd be typing and like,
Oh.
give me a second, stop so you can be
Hmm.
really present. I think that can be really healing for somebody, right? Doesn't have to. So again, the whole message that we've been saying for a couple of different podcasts, right, is that you don't have to. It doesn't have to be big, right?
Yes.
It doesn't have to be
Correct.
big, but we're also trying to encourage you to expand those circles when you
Hmm.
feel called, right? To
Yes.
act on that, to not just say, "Oh, that's stupid or silly," and deny it, but to actually act on it, right? Act on
Hmm.
that calling to be the light in the world, right? We want to support that,
Yeah.
right? Should I read this quote?
Yeah. Yes, please. And real quick before you read that,
Yep.
because I don't want to get off on my tangent. So like when we're at that, I just lost my thought for a second. But when you want to give back, it's paying it forward is basically what it
Yeah.
is. It's like those my wolf pack that was around me. God bless you all. You know who you are. During that moment, um, they held me up. They
Yep.
were the ones that took care of me.
Yep.
And now I can do that to others because that's me giving back.
Yep.
Basically, it's not like going like, okay, I'm gonna go out and save this person, save this. I'm gonna find
Yep.
somebody I can hang on
Yep.
to. It's like, no, it's just like somebody does, I see they're down. It's like, hey, you got somebody. I'm here.
Yep.
So that's what we're talking about. When
Yep.
you go through something, you're like, hey, this is what helped me. My meditation. Hey, Sheldon, I need you to, I know you're going through some stuff. Can you meditate for a minute? Just you and I. It's almost like saying, hey, Sheldon, do you mind if I pray with you real quick? Let's pray.
Yep.
Or, it's one of those. So
Mhm.
meditation or a prayer or something just calms them down.
Yep.
So, and that helps them get into that peace. So, okay. Yeah, go ahead and go
Beautiful.
with that quote. Mhm.
So yeah, when we were talking about this before we started recording, this kind of popped into my head, and I'm sure a lot of you have already heard it before, but it's worth repeating. It's an Albert Einstein quote, and it says this: "A human being is part of the whole, called by us the universe, a part limited in time and space. He experiences himself, his thoughts and feelings, as something separated from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of his consciousness. This delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and to affection for a few persons nearest to us. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty."
So let that sink in, everybody. I'm going to have him reread it because when he read it to me the first time, I'm like, I got some of it. So now I want to go back and listen to it. So I'm going to have him read it one more time. I know it's long, but listen. And now that you know what he's talking about, and then we're going to expand on it when he's done.
Okay. A human being is part of the whole, called by us the universe, a part limited in time and space. He experiences himself, his thoughts, and his feelings as something separated from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of his consciousness. This delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and to affection for a few persons nearest to us. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty.
I love it. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna give my quick Cliff Notes,
Yep.
which I don't never had Cliff Notes when I was growing up, but my
Never allowed
Cliff
to
Note
use
is
them.
like, what's that?
We're never allowed
Yeah.
to use them.
By the way, we're allowed to use them. By the way, um, the you once you get to a space where you're okay, in your life, you could be like, okay, it's all about me. I'm okay. I'm not worried about anybody else. I'm okay in my space, and a few people around me might be okay, but that's it. I'm okay. We need to stop that and go outside of us and say, hey, who around us needs help? Who in the universe needs help? You
Mm-hmm.
know, they always say think globally, act locally. Like, I can't change the world, but I can change my little piece that where I'm at. And so if you're here and you're at a good spot, and if you only keep it to you, you're not doing any good.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing good for you, but honestly, I think that's going to hurt you inside, because you're like kind of selfish. It's like, but if I can see somebody that needs help, I don't need to go and change their world. I just need to go help guide them in that world.
Yep.
You know, and so because I don't know if I have the answers, but I may say one word and be like, wow, he said that really helped me.
I
So,
like the quantum physics of the whole thing with the metaphysics, right?
mhm,
Uh, that is, totally consistent, I believe, with the teachings of Jesus, right? Which is this
mhm,
idea that your consciousness, the idea of separation is an optical delusion of your consciousness. Like, it's not real. It just looks like you're separate because you're really not. And what did Jesus say? Love thy neighbor as thyself, not like as much as yourself, but as you, because
mhm,
neighbor is you. Like, there is no separation between you and your neighbor. We're all one. And so he's actually, it's totally consistent. That feeling that we're separate is an optical delusion, and it creates a prison for us, right? It limits who we love, who we have
mhm.
compassion for, and how we act. And then what we're supposed to do is expand that, right? And that's what we're talking about. As you feel that peace and happiness within yourself, the desire, the impulse to expand your circle of compassion,
Yeah,
will grow. And it doesn't have to grow to embrace all living creatures in the whole of the
yeah.
whole
We're not going there. Yeah,
one fell swoop. If it does, that's a beautiful thing, go
yeah.
for it. But it
Mhm,
might just be, hey, I'm gonna, you know, join Upscare and do my thing, right? You know what I mean?
mhm,
Those little things have echoes and reverberations. Of Course in Miracles would call it an echo. It's like you drop that little pebble in a pond and the ripple goes out, and you have no idea how far that wave goes, right? But
mhm.
all you did was one little stone. And so sometimes when we do things, whether that's being kind to somebody, saying hi, smiling back at somebody, paying attention to when someone's
Yep.
sharing with you. Those little
Mhm.
things should never be underestimated. I know we've said that before, but um,
Yeah. And
following
those don't
those,
cost us a dime.
yeah,
They don't cost us any. They don't cost you anything.
right. It really doesn't, right?
It's a
That's
small
how,
effort. It really
yeah,
is a small
yeah,
effort. So don't. It's not like, well, I can't afford that. Well, it doesn't cost you money.
yeah,
It
and
just costs you a little bit of time and compassion for yourself,
yeah,
from yourself. Yeah.
yes, and in our society now with social media and so much of the busyness that we've created in our own minds, right,
Mhm.
through this constant da 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 da, right, we've disconnected from people, from ourselves, and then from our connection to other people, right? And
Yeah.
so I think what we're saying, like you said, David, it doesn't actually cost you anything. A little bit of awareness in your own mind, right, your own heart, and to follow the again, we talked about it in our last episode, that the mind is a tyrannical master, but the loyal servant of an
Mhm.
awakened heart. Is you spend the time in the heart space, and as you allow that to flourish and to glow, and letting your light shine before all mankind, which is
Mhm.
something one of my mentors used to say in one of the rituals we talked about. Let your light shine before all mankind. It's like allowing the light within you to glow, right? Which heals you, which
Mhm.
helps you, which makes you feel at peace, and then to allow that to expand and to extend, um, circles of compassion, as Einstein put it, right?
Yeah.
And not to allow your mind to say, "Oh, that's silly. Oh, that's stupid. Oh, that's that won't make a
Mhm.
difference," because that's what the mind will do, right? Again, it will limit those things, and I guess our message here is to not pay attention to those limiting thoughts, right? To allow
Yeah.
yourself to follow those impulses to be more loving in the
Mhm.
world. We need more
And
of that.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
The world
Totally.
needs more of that,
You
right?
know.
We
And
need more of that right now more than ever. So,
totally. And you were talking about, and it's not about me. I'm sorry, but the you were talking about how coaching and teaching, a lot of things I don't. It's just natural to me, which is by thank you, Lord, by the way, because you gave me that talent, that skill, that ability to whatever. Um, two swimmers that just graduated, Genevieve George and Ginger Mago. I can say their full name because they're graduates. So the one had a medical issue, and freshman year was coming in, and she didn't swim the entire freshman year. She couldn't because she had a feeding tube, but she was on deck with us, and on Friday she was my assistant coach basically, and so we would talk, and she'd have her whatever she was drinking or shooting into the tube, whatever. One, I learned a lot about. Wow, that's I've never seen that happen before in my life.
Yep.
And two, just the conversations we had, and then with Ginger, her end of her sophomore year, into her junior year, I think that's what it was. Yeah, back issues. So I ended up having back surgery, and so she was out. She was done. I mean, it's like, how do you come back from that?
Yeah.
In your senior year. But she was. I literally got her a mug that says the assistant coach because she did everything for me. For a year and a half. And I at that point as a coach, he said, like, you know what, just go. You're not going to swim. I don't just go do your therapy. Stay away from the deck. I don't need to deal with you. But both of them not realizing it, both of them having them on deck, which to me was great because I had a friend, and I mean, I'll think about them the rest of my life. But the cards that I got for them from graduation, I tear up a little bit. I'm like, what? They both are ready to quit.
Yeah.
But with me just saying, hey, you got this.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
We got time.
You can help me out. Do this.
Yeah. And you're still part of the team. And at one point, some people did question. They're like, why is she getting a varsity letter? Because I'm giving it to her. Yeah. Shut the hell up. Yeah. I have a right to, because she's still part of this team, and I'm gonna give her a letter.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And it's you don't realize. I mean, they were just kids that I'm like, yeah, I want you to swim. I want you to eventually come back out. But you can be a manager if you have to. Mm-hmm. But I did not realize that some of the things I did just by saying, hey, stand here on deck, or doing for them whatever I did, changed their world, saying, yes, I can do this. Mm-hmm. And they came back and did it. Yep. So that was cool. That was just made me feel like, wow, that's little things that you do or say that you don't know can make a huge difference. Yep. Positive or negative. Yep. So careful. Yep. Those negative things can go a long way. So be careful, So just think about that when you're out there, like you see someone or you hear people, talking. And again, like I say, don't go looking for things. That's like, you just hear someone talking. Oh, I had those two kids talking. Hey, call a counselor. Hey, can you talk to so-and-so? Because I just heard this. And just be open to what's going on around you, and know that, think about the things that got you through it. If you've been listening to us and you've done the meditation, you've gone within and you've learned to forgive, or whatever levels you did. That's good English, Smithers. Whatever levels you did, okay, at that point, that too. Yeah, that you did done do. You did done do. There's my Texas family out at live. You can help others get there. We're not saying become their total, coach and everything on how to do everything, but maybe you might be that person. But just have them start on the basics, and then reach out to other people. You can reach out to us. You can reach out to anybody that you know. So think about that. Just think about, just what people did for you. Go and do it for others. So that's a huge thing.
We're all just walking each other home.
Yeah, I love that quote. We're all just walking each other home. Yeah, just come on. You walk alongside somebody. How you doing? I'm lost. Okay, I got you. And guess what? Sheldon may walk me for this month, and all of a sudden, we're okay. We're still hanging out. And all of a sudden, someone else comes up and I'm like, you know what? They start walking me a little further on something different. So everyone has something different to give. Yep. And so don't think it's like, well, I don't know anything. I don't know how to talk to people, to help people.
Don't underestimate the power of you.
Yeah.
And who you are and what you bring.
Because we all have something to give.
And you are unique in all of the universe and all of creation. That's why you're here. And that's a beautiful thing. And we need
God's a plan for each and every one of us. And it's just got to know what that plan is. Got to find it. Yep. And so God had to knock me upside the head. But I got my plan. So we got there. Took a while, but
and that happens too.
But the nose slap in the back of the head was nothing compared to what he did. So it's like he's like, oh, dude, come on, man. But know that. Just be open to what's going on around you and what you can give, because you have a lot to give. So now that you're at this space, I hope those that are at that good spot, that you've worked through some things with all these little techniques and ideas that you can go out and help others. And when you get to another spot where you're at, you can work through it a lot easier.
Yep.
And I will tell you, when you talk to people and help them through it, you get through things a lot easier because you've done it, and now
Yep.
you've quote unquote taught it.
Yep.
Okay. And that's how you learn,
Yep.
is by teaching others. And so you're going to be much better at it.
Yep.
So, yeah.
That's beautiful, dude. Yes.
So, yeah. So, yeah, a little tagline down there. Make sure you like it, share it, tell your friends about it, because we want them to listen. Everybody will get something different. You never know what they're going to get out of it.
Share this with other people if you feel called. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Like,
and your homework is simple. Just go out and be you.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. There you go. Be
Go
you.
Yeah.
Be you.
Be you. Be you, and be willing to walk someone home.
Yeah.
Okay. On their little journey. Just like, hey, where are you going? Okay, I'll go. I'm going to that curb. I'm out. Okay?
Exactly.
And that's all they need, is that little curb, a little talk for a while. So
that's beautiful.
So be you, and be willing to talk. Take that walk. Help someone find their way home.
Yes.
So, love it.
Love it.
You guys have a great week. Keep that smile on.